In our previous episodes, we've informed you that in September 2000, 147 heads of state and 189 nations adopted the Millennium Declaration, which mainstreams a set of 8 goals into a global agenda. The Millennium Development Goal 8, developing a global partnership for development, sets out the target to be met by developing countries. They cover efforts in vital areas such as development aid, trade, debt relief, affordable essential drugs, and foreign direct investments. Now, the Millennium Development Goals Office in Nigeria and the government are fully committed to playing a very important role in achieving the MDG 8 and other related targets. One of the crucial targets of the Millennium Development Goal 8 is to make developing countries debt sustainable in the long term. Nigeria set its foot on the ladder in October 2005 when the country and the Paris Club announced a final agreement for Nigeria's debt relief worth $18 billion. However, the deal was completed in April 2006 when Nigeria made its final payment and the books were cleared of any Paris Club debt. 5 years from then, Nigeria has recorded tremendous progress towards not just meeting the Millennium Development Goal 8, but in all the 8 MDGs.
We've had a lot of international development partners in Nigeria, and basically speaking, they've informed best practice, and they've tried to see how we can scale up what would be, for instance, in education, the child-friendly school that UNICEF helped us with. The partnerships in Nigeria have long been premised on the UN systems, bilateral, multilateral aid in health, in education. And so for the last 10 years, one would say that the efforts have been towards filling the gap, mainly in education, in health, in water, around the programs of the EU.
Nigeria has, since the Millennium Declaration, established good relationships with some international organizations. These include the Department for International Development, the World Bank, and other leading international organizations. The areas include providing more children with a better education, helping the country use its oil revenues to improve the lives of its citizens, immunize more children, help eradicate polio, and distribute anti-malaria bed nets. In a report put together by the DFID, it will spend an average of £250 million per year in Nigeria until 2015.
If Nigeria is going to come out of poverty, it will come out of poverty using its own resources better to address the challenges. And that's why we have been supporting various governments, state, local, and federal, to maximize the use of those resources. There are, of course, issues and challenges with regards to how the governments target the resources, making sure that resources are targeted at areas of greatest need.
Between 2009 and 2010, a DFID report indicates that it has spent £114.2 million towards the realization of the Millennium Development Goals. In 2008, the Nigerian and UK government decided to form a partnership for accountability, responsiveness, and capability. Nigeria's state and local governments manage 50% of national revenue and are responsible for most of the services critical to the MDGs. SPARC is the governance component of this integrated package of support. Program outcomes in the lead state monitored by SPARC includes budgets and systems that enable managers of health, education, and regulatory services to know how much money they have to spend and when. Better systems to control and record that spending, the right staffing to provide efficient and effective services to the poor.
DFID has provided support to the Millennium Development Goals Office, particularly through the SPARC program, which I work on. Some of the specific initiatives include our support to the development of the conditional grant scheme.
With a population of about 150 million people, Nigeria is the largest country in Africa and accounts for 47% of West Africa's population. It is also the biggest oil exporter in Africa, with the largest natural gas reserves in the continent. Now, with these large reserves of human and natural resources, Nigeria is poised to build a prosperous economy, reduce poverty significantly, and provide the health, education, and infrastructure services to its populace. A recent report by the World Bank indicates that despite Nigeria's strong economic track record, poverty is significant, and reducing it will require strong non-oil growth and a focus on human development.
The whole issue of poverty reduction strategy, which is one area in which the MDG office and other agencies of government like the National Planning Commission and the Ministry of Finance are active, is also an area in which the bank brings global partnership together to support government. In fact, the recent one is in the area of youth unemployment, where we're trying to look at how to support government to engage a sizable number of youth that are out there on the streets into decent and productive work.
The World Bank is, however, willing to give Nigeria all the support it needs to achieve the Millennium Development Goals in 4 years to come. Nigeria is among one of the African countries selected for support by the World Bank's West Africa Agriculture Productivity Program. The WAP is expected to help achieve significant growth in agricultural output to fight against food insecurity and poverty and ultimately reach the Millennium Development Goals.